Welcome back, football fans. It is game week 28 in the Premier League, and in this one we are going to take a look at Saturday's games. It is Saturday the 8th of March. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day and ready to make some money on the Premier League. It is an unpredictable league, I'll just say that at the start of the video, get it out there. But we are going to try our best and use data to formulate some ideas about these games. We've got 6 games today. I'm just going to scan through them and then we will take a look at some key stats across the games before jumping to Bet365. And to help you in your journey, we have the form guide stats scroller ticker thing down there. It's using the last 10 games worth of data to show you the best and worst teams in the division for a large array of stats, as you can see. So let's now start by taking a look at the games. We've got Nottingham Forest, Manchester City, of course. And by the way, don't forget to get your predictions in the comments. Any comment is automatically entered into a draw to win OddAlerts Pro, which now includes OddAlerts AI, which we are going to show you in this video. I will announce the winner in the next video, as well as the winner from yesterday's video as well, because I'm recording this one just after that one's gone out. And if you want to check out yesterday's video, there is still a couple of selections on that for Saturday. Second half goals, double especially. So we start with Nottingham Forest against Manchester City, the early kickoff. So I will be avoiding this in terms of the treble or double that we're going to put together, but it's still good to have a look at it and give a prediction. My score prediction, as I will do for all of these games, is 3-1 Manchester City. Sorry to do the sort of Davina Big Brother thing on you there. Yeah, I think Man City are going to come into their own now. I think Marmoush will have a great run of form before the end of the season. KDB coming back. They're out of the Champions League. They've had a very tough run recently, as we'll see in a moment when we dig into the game. Nottingham Forest, good defensively, but not so great in the last 5 games. I don't think they've won in the last 5 games. They're not in the best of form at the moment. And Man City, I believe, have enough to go and get a win there. Brighton against Fulham should be an interesting game. Both teams scoring plenty of goals at the moment. Fulham superb away from home. They really are. And Brighton, a lot of draws at home. This one I could see being a score draw. We'll take a look at the data. Crystal Palace, another team in superb form. They've won 6 of the last 6 games and not conceding many goals at all as well. For Ipswich, you feel it's now or never. We've got 10 games left this season, 9 after today for Ipswich. You need to start winning some games of football. And Crystal Palace, without Mateta, will have to adapt. But it's a big, big day for Eddie Nketiah, who has made his way into my fantasy football team. I will show you that at the end of the video if you want to stick around for that. Now, in terms of rotation, speaking of rotation, we come to Liverpool, Southampton. I think Liverpool will win this game, of course. That's not a wild prediction, but it's going to be interesting to see who actually starts this game. Harvey Elliott could come in for Salah. He was the hero against PSG. Robertson will probably get rested. Trent, I'm sure, would like a rest, but Conor Bradley is also injured at the moment, as is Gomez, so not much that Slot can do there, unless he plays somebody else at right back, just to give a little bit of a rest. I think what he will do is try and get the game won by half-time. So that could be an interesting angle to look at. Liverpool half-time, full-time, but I imagine the odds are just absolutely shocking. We'll take a look, of course. Now, Brentford, Aston Villa is a fascinating game. Brentford have done a bit of a 360, a U-turn on their early season form because they were so good at home and terrible away. And now, at this moment in time, they're unbeaten away from home and they can't win at home. So we'll take a look at that one as well. Wolves against Everton. 0-0, 1-1. Who cares? So we'll take a quick look at this one. It is the 12:30 game, so if you've already missed it, feel free to skip ahead. As we see here, Nottingham Forest conceding just 10 goals this season. They are, superb team defensively, but in recent weeks, their actual form at the moment isn't great. If we look across all competitions, no win since the 1st of February when they demolished Brighton. Incidentally, and as we'll see with Brighton, that result is sort of the odd one out in their recent form as well. For Manchester City, they've had a bit of a tricky start to the year. They've got some wins, but just look at the teams they've been playing. Apart from the FA Cup, the FA Cup has come as a nice little bit of a breather for them, because outside of that, they've played Tottenham, Liverpool, Madrid, Newcastle, Madrid, Leyton Orient, Arsenal, Bruges, Chelsea, PSG. all since early January, and I don't think they've done too bad, especially in the Premier League. 2 defeats since the 21st of December, being defeated by Arsenal and Chelsea, the team that are first and second in the Premier League. No shame there, especially when they are in a season like this where they're not really challenging for the title. And as I say, I think Man City will win this game. I think they'll come good. I think Marmoush will have a fantastic end to the season. I'd like to see Kevin De Bruyne back in the team. Let's see what happens in this early game. Now on to Brighton against Fulham. We mentioned Fulham's away form at the moment, and this is it. Absolutely superb. 1 defeat away from home since the 5th of October. But what really stands out for me is how capable they are at scoring away from home. They have scored 2 goals in the last 6 away games. Absolutely superb stuff. And for Brighton at home, 2 wins on the bounce. They'll be very happy with that against good opposition as well, Chelsea and Bournemouth. But before that, as we mentioned, there have been quite a few draws. And as I said before, that result against Nottingham Forest, a bit of an anomaly in terms of the other results there at the moment. Just 2 defeats since early December. Now, what we're going to do is use OddAlerts AI for the first time on this video. Let's click Get AI, Get Analysis rather. And it's going to go away, use all of the data, and give us some key insights. So Brighton boasts a strong attack, scoring in 90% of the last 10 games, averaging 2.1 goals per game. They dominate shots, leading in 70% of their games, so having more shots than the opponents. What's interesting about this one is that Fulham, across the last 10-15 games, have also been taking an awful lot of shots. Fulham has a higher BTTS rate at 70%, scoring in 90% of their games. It's looking at the last 10 games here. It has a bit of a more recency bias, the AI at the moment. We are going to be testing it and tweaking it across the weekend, of course. Now let's scroll down to the recommended bets and predictions. So Fulham draw no bet is a value bet, and I imagine the double chance as well, given the strong away form of Fulham for sure. Under 2.5 goals, high probability and value at 2.1. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that, but of course the probability model is suggesting it. Over 8.5 corners, both teams average high corners, good value at 1.82. So yeah, keep all that in mind. We can log it in the bank before we go to check out the Bet365 website. Don't know why I said it like that. BTTS is my prediction for this one. Let's see what I can get for that. I get 1.9 on the predictions game. I'm absolutely taking that all day long. What is the odds? What are the odds in reality? Let's take a look. BTTS 1.66. So yeah, we could add that to a treble, and we could also throw in some corners in there as well. And let's just check again. Fulham 3.72 to get a victory, and we have seen them get very, very good away wins recently. They won at Newcastle on the 1st of February. They've won at Chelsea. They've drawn at Liverpool. They've drawn at Tottenham. They beat Palace at Palace. They beat Forest at Forest, which is not easy to do. So the double chance, let me know what you think about that one. Interesting suggestion from OddAlerts AI as we now go to Crystal Palace against Ipswich. So Crystal Palace at home won just 2 games before recently putting 4 past Aston Villa. And for that game, we also predicted on this channel, we had Crystal Palace to score in the second half, and they did. They scored 3 second half goals, and I just feel it again for this game, to be honest, because Ipswich form is absolutely shocking, no doubt about that. No clean sheet away from home since the early stages of the season, since they went to Brighton, and they are conceding second half goals. You can just see by scanning that, and that is what I'm feeling again for Crystal Palace here, because no doubt they're going to be favourites to win this game. 1.57, 1.61 peak, and the second half goal is where I am thinking at the moment. It's where my head is at, because if you think about Mateta being out, they could potentially need to adjust. Maybe they'll take a little bit of time to get used to that. And also with Ipswich, late stage of the season, they're not going to want to lose this game by half time. So now let's check out Brentford against Aston Villa. Brentford against Aston Villa, and one thing that stands out to me is that Aston Villa are 3s to win a game of football. That is very, very appealing, isn't it? And Brentford, as I said before, Their home form at the moment isn't great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games without a win, but away from home, look at that. Absolutely bizarre. And at the start of the season, they could do no wrong at home. And now the tide has changed. Very strange. But look at the teams they have played. Forest, Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Spurs, Everton, and now Aston Villa, who will have given quite a lot in that game against Club Brugge. Away from home, maybe this is where the odds are coming from. But I think BTTS is a good option here. Brentford against Aston Villa. Let me know what you think about this one in the comments. We will jump, of course, now to Bet365. So I'm going to go draw or Aston Villa for the first selection, and I'll tell you why. BTTS is 1.44, so I always look at that first. It just indicates that the bookies think both teams will get a goal in this game. And then the next question is, logically, if another team is going to score, if this game gets out of hand, who do I feel has the better chance of winning the game? And it's Aston Villa for me, with the players they've got. Rashford came off after about 55 minutes. They've got Jacob Ramsey coming back, who's looking very sharp. They've got players that can come in and hurt Brentford. And for Brentford, even when they were doing really well at the start of the season at home, they were conceding more shots on target than any other team in the Premier League. BTTS is my first pick for the Brighton game, Brighton Fulham. If you were to add draw or Fulham, it goes to 2.7. I'm not going to add it because I believe, having watched Brighton recently, they do have that quality at the top end of the pitch. They've got players that can provide little bits of magic and just get them out of a little, bad 15, 20-minute spell. So BTTS there, that takes us to 2.83. Let's add another selection to make this a treble. And it is complete just like that, the treble. We are going with Crystal Palace to score a second half goal, as they did 3 times against Aston Villa, and as they have in recent weeks. And Ipswich conceding in the second half is a trend as well. So this is the treble. Aston Villa to draw or win away at Brentford. No win in 4 or 5 games at home for Brentford now. Aston Villa's away form, not great, but they do come out of this week with an away win, a big away win in the Champions League. Brighton Fulham BTTS, 70% of recent games for Fulham. And of course, Fulham scoring 2+ goals in the last 6 away games on the bounce. And Palace, as we've just mentioned, yeah. So that is the first treble. I'm just going to explore the Liverpool game just to see if there is any value. I'll let you know in the next section. So no value really in the Liverpool game. Just going to leave you with the football form guide. This is the tool that is powering the data at the bottom of the screen, and you can just go through and look at all of the stats here. Most shots on target, team with most shots, over 3.5 goals for, not many teams, over 2.5 goals for, again, not many teams. BTTS, Ipswich, 6 out of 6. Can they get a goal at Crystal Palace? Will they have some response? Total corners, Man City, 78 across the last 6 games. It's very, very easy to just go through here and see who is the best and worst. Who's having the most shots? It is Arsenal, then Palace, then City, Villa, Bournemouth, Fulham down there. Fulham were top of the pile, but they've had some trickier games recently. They're still getting results though, especially away from home. Absolutely fantastic. So that has been the video. I will leave you with my fantasy football team for today. Raya in net, and I've had to use my wild card. Kirkez, Mitchell, Timber, Wanyeri, Salah still captain. Maybe that will change. Clivert, Rodgers, Nketiah, Marmoush, Pedro, and Iwobi. Where does he go? How can you fit him in? This is the thing. I was struggling a lot to get Iwobi in, but I really do want to get him in for someone. But Tottenham, I think they'll concede against Bournemouth, and Clivert and Kirkez very, very good at what they do for Bournemouth. So let's now jump back to X, because if you want to see some EFL stuff and some in-play selections today and Sunday as well, just head over there, and I'll see you over there. And with that, yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.